Welcome to this session on digital communication and in particular on pulse code modulation. So in this video, we will walk step by step through how analog signals are converted into digital form using PCM. So first, before PCM, we need to understand pulse modulation. So pulse modulation converts a continuous analog signal into a train of pulses. So that can be transmitted, stored or processed by electronic systems. Pulse modulation, it takes a continuous time signal like a voice waveform and represent it's a sequence of pulses. So each technique changes a different property of pulse to represents the information. So in PAM, the amplitude or height of the pulses varied. In PWM, the width or duration of the pulses varied. In PPM, the position of the pulse in time is varied. PAM. So here we sample the analog signal at regular time intervals. At every sampling instant, we generate a pulse. Those height equals the values of the signal at that instant. Amplitude alone is varying. It's pulse width modulation. So here the width or duration of each pulse is proportional to amplitude of the analog signal. So when the signal level is high, the pulse becomes wider, and when the signal level is low means the pulse become narrower. So amplitude and position of the pulses stay constant. Only the width is changing here. PPM. So the position of each pulse within a fixed time slot is changed according to the signal's amplitude. So for high level signals, the pulse shift later in time slot. For low level signals, the pulse shift earlier. So hence amplitude and width of the pulse remain constant. PCM. Okay. So digital representation of an analog signal and has been used for ADC conversion. So it converts the continuous analog signal into a binary number. So it is a basis for the modern digital communication techniques. Okay, we move from analog to digital. Actually, analog is normally sensitivity to noise, and it is very hard to store the data, and the quality, signal quality degrade over time and distance. Analog to digital conversion process in PCM has three main steps. First one is sampling. It takes instantaneous values of the analog signal at the fixed time intervals. Then quantization. So here it round these samples to a set of fixed amplitude values. Then in case of encoding, it represents each quantized level as a binary code. This is a PCM block diagram overview. Okay, so the analog input has been given to the low pass filter. It limits the input bandwidth to satisfy the Nyquist criterion. The sampler that converts the continuous waveform into discrete time samples. The quantizer rounds each sample to a nearest allowed level. The encoder then converts each level into a binary code word. So the output of these stages is the PCM signal. Yes, focus on the sampling. So it is a process of converting a continuous time signal into discrete set of samples. The most important results in sampling is the Nyquist sampling theorem. So it states that to perfect reconstruct an analog signal, the sampling rate should be twice that of the high frequency component. Here that Fs is a sampling frequency and Fm that represents the maximum frequency present in the signal. So it is a distortion where high frequency component appears as false low frequency components after sampling. How can we prevent this? So we prevent by using band limit the input signal and make sure the sample rate is above the Nyquist rate. Quantization. So what do you mean by a quantization? It is a process of matching each sampled amplitude to the nearest value in finite set of discrete levels. Use some error. So it is a difference between the actual and quantized value. It can be written as that error between the actual value and the quantized values that defines the error. So this error is bounded within plus or minus half of one step size. This is the quantization noise. So the effect of quantization on the signal is called as quantization noise. It appears like added noise in the reconstructed signal at the receiver side. It is caused by rounding each sample to the nearest discrete level. So to reduce this type of quantization noise, we can increase the number of bits per sample. So encoding. So what do you mean by encoding? So after quantization, we perform this encoding. So it is a process of representing each quantized level as a unique binary code word. Okay. So each of this L quantization level is assigned a fixed n bit binary pattern. So after that, the output of them is a binary bit stream. So this is a signal formation. So in input, the continuous analog waveform, then it converts to the discrete time amplitude values, then round to the fixed values, then converts this level to the binary codes. So the result is a binary PCM signal that can be transmitted, stored and preserved. So this is how that process work, sampling. Okay, so we need to identify with that. Then quantized means the round of values. After that, quantization, that can be converted these levels to the binary codes. Okay, so these are that sequence of codes. Okay, so this is that block diagram of that PCM. So analog signal has been given. So all these process that can be called as a PCM encoder. So sampling. So this is how the sampling taken. So this is a quantized signal, and finally the encoded data. Analog signal input. So here in anti-aliasing filter, that band limits the input to satisfy the Nyquist criteria. It converts the continuous signal to discrete sample. So it maps each sample to the nearest allowed level. The encoder converts these level to binary code bits. Receiver side, here the most important term is regenerative repeaters. So it has to come across the long distance. So the signal strength has been improved while traveling a long distance. So regenerative repeaters that cleans and reshapes the incoming digital pulses. Then again decoder that converts each binary code word back to quantized amplitude. And then DAC, the digital to analog converter. So the reconstructed low pass filter that smooth the staircase waveform into original analog signal. We use this regenerative repeaters. So over long distance, the signal can accumulate noise and distortion. The repeater detects, reshapes, retimes and retransmits a clean pulse before noise accumulating too much. The advantage is it prevents noise buildup over the cascade links. So which is a major advantage of this digital transmission compared to the analog one. So synchronizations of two forms, a frame synchronization and clock synchronization. So it marks the start of each PCM frame and ensures bits are grouped into the correct sample or code word using special patterns. Clock synchronization that aligns the receiver's clock with transmitter bit rate so that each bit is sampled at the correct instant. So the PCM parameter starting with bandwidth, so it should be greater than that of n into fs by 2. So n that represents the number of bits per sample and fs that represents the frequency. So for example, and the bitrate of the PCM system is given by n into fs, so that n defines the bits per sample and fs sampling frequency, rb is the bitrate, the bits transmission per second. So signal to quantization noise ratio. So for a uniform PCM, the SQNR that is equal to 6.02 n plus 1.76 dB. Okay, so it is decibels. This is how the normalized PAM values has been formed. Likewise that minus 1.22, 1.50 likewise. Then this is the normalized quantized values. So after quantization, then the error has been calculated. So by comparing the difference between these two, okay, then we mention that corresponding quantization code based on this. So these are the quantization codes. Then the corresponding binary representation has been made. So this is how the quantization and the encoding of the sampled signal has been performed. So what are all the advantages of using this PCM? So it is noise immunity, it's highly resistant to channel noise and distortion, and the encryption is very easy in case of PCM, and the transmission. So it uses the regenerated repeaters which preserves the signal integrity over long distances. Then multiplexing, it carries a multiplexing. Multiple PCM channels can be combined using TDM, time division multiplexing. Drawback of using PCM is it requires higher bandwidth. In most cases, we don't able to use this, and the complexity is somewhat high when compared to other digital communication methods. And synchronization is very necessary because both the transmitter and receiver clocks should stay together. Applications are in a telephone system and studio recording, and for long distance digital transmission, then optical fiber communication, and in case of biomedical signals. This is a very important technique in model digital communication. Thank you for watching the video. Meet you in next video.